Hello everyone, this is my tutorial on how I tape a rifle. I'm using a King Kong 37.5-inch rifle with pads on both sides. Make sure you have a black leather strap and a bolt. And then a screwdriver with a flathead on top and one with a star tip. A handheld one works just as good. And then some strapping tape. I have two sizes, I'll show you later in the video. And then some white tape. I use Scotch because it's really nice. Some screws for your bolts, and then some for your strap. I use two, and some scissors. We like to tape rifles so that when you drop it, it won't shatter into like a billion pieces, especially the plastic ones because they're really easy to break and then the wood chips a lot. I'm showing you where to tape it. I personally like to wrap my tape around the screws so that they stay a little quieter when you spin. So I'm starting here with the tip of the rifle. You want to use your strapping tape and put it in a star like you would on like a regular flag crutch tip. So it's basically 4 pieces, 2 in a plus and then 2 going diagonal the other way like I'm showing you. And then you're going to take some more strapping tape and starting at like the top of your star, wrap all the way around so that you finish strapping the tip. Here I was using like a 2-inch I think strapping tape, but you could use either. Flipping it over to the butt, I'm showing you using the smaller strip of strapping tape. You need to use 3 like longer strips to cover the butt, but if you're using the bigger one, I just put 1 big piece of tape over it, cut the corners, and then kind of press it all down so you don't have like huge pieces of strapping tape around your corners. And then from here, don't make the same mistake that I did just now. I wrapped around the screws before putting in the strap. And you kind of need to put in the strap first. So you're going to get your strap, and the side with more holes is going to go on the bottom. So this right here is going to go by the butt. You're going to thread it through the screw, and then use your 2 small screws that come with the strap, and put the side with the hole on the underside, if that makes sense, and then the side with the line on the outside. You can use your fingers to screw it in, and then once it's like pretty in there, you can use the screwdriver. And then from there, you're going to grab some black tape and wrap it around the screws. I'm pretty sure this is so that it doesn't make the rifle all scratched up from the screw whenever you spin, and it just looks a little better. And then you can finish strapping tape around your butt. Working with strapping tape can be a little bit hard. So like right here, I had like a bubble, and I didn't want to just press it down, so I cut a little bit and then press it down like that, so it was like a little more flat. Kind of like I did for the butt when I cut the corners. Honestly, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to see the strapping tape because you're going to cover it with white tape after this, but you kind of want to minimize all the huge bumps. And I did about that much. Okay, now taping the neck can be a little tricky. This little indent here, you don't have to do what I'm doing with strapping tape, but you're going to want to do it with white tape. I put like 2 strips so that it covered it before going over everything around the whole neck. I'm starting top down. And this, I'm also trying to make it like be as smooth as possible. Sometimes the strapping tape won't want to like go in the direction that you're going. So it's okay if you have to like cut it a few times. Like here, I just cut the top and then started again doing the rest of the neck. Going down to like the base, like where the neck is, it's really hard for some reason. The strapping tape like doesn't bend well, and like when you want it to go a certain way, it'll like completely just fold the other way, and it's really annoying, but we work with what we have, and again, you can just keep cutting it and starting over if you need to. After you finish strapping the neck, we're gonna not tape around your second screw because you need to remember that you need to screw in the strap first, and once you screw in the strap, it gets really hard to try and tape the neck over with white tape. I've made this mistake way too many times where I've screwed in the strap and it's like really nice and tight, and then when I go to candy cane around with white tape, it's so hard because it's like there's a whole strap in your way. So once I finish strapping it, I like to just put white tape over it. So once we're done completely with the neck, you can go ahead and screw in the strap just like we did on the bottom. How tight you want to pull it is up to you. I like to have mine pretty tight because it gets really loose so fast, and then once your strap gets too loose, you kind of have to untape everything. So I like to do mine like pretty tight. And then once we're done with that, put more strapping tape around the top screw, just like that. And now we're ready to put finishing touches of white tape around the entire rifle. We already did the neck, so all we have to worry about now is the butt, the tip, and then the screw area. When you go to retape your rifle, you don't have to retape everything. Like, you can keep the strapping tape on if it's still good enough, and then just put white over, like before a big show or something, just to make it look like you haven't dropped it 100 times in the grass. And you could also tape around the entire rifle if you wanted to, but I was kind of running out of white tape, and this is fine too. These 4 areas are kind of just the main parts that you want to tape because they're pretty easy to break. But this is just the way I've been taught. It works, I guess. And there I just ran out of white tape. Goodbye. And now I have an almost completely taped rifle. We're gonna ignore that little section that isn't taped. Okay, grab your bolts. I put a piece of tape over the top like that, just to cover that little area right there. And then I'm just completely out of frame. Use your black tape and just candy cane around the whole thing. You don't have to do this, but it kind of protects the bolt and keeps it from getting super scratched up. Like today when I untaped it, it looked like good as new. So there's a perfectly taped bolt. You're gonna put this on your rifle with the flatter side on the flat side. That's pretty self-explanatory. But you get the screws and you just screw them in. If you can't find, like, because you covered it with tape, the holes, they should fit somewhere, I guess. And then you also don't have to do this, but I like to put a little square of black tape over the screws. I don't really know why. I guess having no silver poking out just like looks a little better. And now your rifle is beautiful. Hope this helps.